I am going to tell you the story of the Pied Piper. Okay. Once upon a time in a town called Hamelin, there were so many rats. Okay. And if you go to the right side, the rats will be running. Left side, rats are running. You go anywhere, the town was full of rats. The rats are so naughty. They fight with the cats and they disturb the babies sleeping in the cradles. And they go to cupboard and bite all the mama's silk saris. So all the mummies and daddies and all the kids were tired of the rats. They fight with the dogs in the street. So these rats are so naughty. So all the people, in the town, they got so tired of the rats. They marched to the king. They went to the king and they all decided to complain to the king to get rid of all the rats. Okay. So they marched to the king and they told, Your Majesty, our town is full of rats. They are fighting with the cats. They are biting the babies in the cradles. They are stealing food from the kitchen. And we are tired of the rats. Your Majesty, please do something to save our life from the rats. So the king said, yes, the king was saying, oh, it's a serious problem. I will do something to get rid of all the rats. So what did the king say? It's a serious problem. I will do something to get rid of all the rats. So next day, the king announced in the newspaper, whoever come and get rid of all the rats in the town will be given 100 pieces of gold. Okay, how many pieces? 100 pieces of gold. It was announced in the newspaper. So seeing the newspaper, one tall, strange man with a cap, he had a cap in his head, he had a pipe, and he went to the king. Okay, he approached the king. He said, Your Majesty, I can get rid of all the rats if you pay me that 100 pieces of gold which you have promised. So what did the king say? Ha 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 ha! I can give you much more than that. Can you get rid of all the rats? So the man, this name is called Pied Piper. Okay, we'll name him Pied Piper. The Pied Piper said, yes, I can get rid of all the rats. So the king said, okay, now go and get rid of all the rats first and come back to me for your reward. So the Pied Piper, he had a pipe in his hand, he took his pipe and he has got a hat also. So he stepped into the street and started playing a music, a strange music. He played. Loo, loo, skip to my loo, 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 skip to my loo, 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 skip to my loo, skip to my loo, my darling. La, 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 la. So he was playing this music in the pipe. You know what happened? Out of the houses came big rats, small rats, fat rats, thin rats, father rats, mother rats, baby rats, sister rats, brother rats. All the rats came out of all the houses and they danced and jumped behind. Squeak, 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 squeak. So all these rats, started following the Pied Piper, dancing behind the Pied Piper. Squeak, 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 squeak. And the Pied Piper was playing la, 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 la. And all the rats followed the Pied Piper and he came near a river. So what did the Pied Piper do? He stopped in front of the river. And what did he do? He jumped into the river. And what happened to all the rats? All dived into the river. All the big rats, small rats, father rats, mother rats, fat rats, thin rats, all the rats jumped into the river. And that was the end of all the rats. All the rats were dead. So all the mummy and daddy were so happy. All the mummy said, oh, no rats in my house. No rats to bite the babies. No rats to steal the food from the kitchen. So all the people in that town felt so happy. They started celebrating. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. There are no more rats in the town. No more rats in the town. We shall overcome someday. La 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 la. So they were so happy. All mummies, all daddies, they were holding their hands and they started dancing and celebration happening. And what happened to the pied piper? You remember, no? The king has promised him to give 100 pieces of gold. Yes or no? Isn't it? So the pied piper went to the king. Your Majesty, your town is free of rats. Now give me my 100 pieces of gold which you have promised. You know what did the king say? Ha, 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 ha. 100 pieces of gold? Yeah, I can give you only 10 pieces of gold. So, pied piper got angry, red with anger. Your Majesty, you promised me, you will give me 100 pieces of gold if I get rid of all the rats. Now you have to keep up your promise. The king said, ha ha ha. What did you do? You did only get rid of rats. I cannot give you 100 pieces of gold. I can give you only 10 pieces of gold. Take it and go. The pied piper got angry. He said, Your Majesty, you will crawl on your knees for not keeping up the promise. Telling this, he took the pied piper and he stepped into the street. And this time he played very, very, very strange music. Okay. La 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 la. This time who came behind him? There is no rats, isn't it? So who followed him? Out of the houses, all the children, big children, small children, brother children, sister children, all the kids from all the houses. They followed the pied piper, singing and dancing behind the pied piper. Pied piper, la 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 la. La 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 la. So all the kids were skipping and dancing. All the big children, small children, fat children, thin children, all the children followed the pied piper. And by playing la 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 la. Then the pied piper came near a big cave, very big cave. And the moment the pied piper came near the cave, the door of the magic cave opened. How it opened? And the cave opened and pied piper went into the cave and all the children followed the pied piper. All the children also went inside the cave and door of the cave closed. Door of the cave closed and the children went with the pied piper. So all the mummies, daddies are crying, oh, my child, my son, my daughter, oh, they all going here, they all go to the cave. Oh, they all started, all mummies, daddies started crying. They went to the king. They went to the king, Your Majesty, it is because of you. We lost our children. Can you bring our children back? All the mummies and daddies went to the king and started telling, Your Majesty, can you bring our children back? The king was speechless. The king was speechless. And what did he do? He hung his head in shame. Like this. His head was like this. The king head was like, he hung his head in shame and he was speechless. So what is the moral of this story? You should always keep up your word. If you promise something, you should do it, isn't it? Yes or no? You should keep up your word. Do you like this story? Okay? Yes.